Welcome to Living on the B-Side, where music and stories come together to inspire and transform. I'm your host Birgit, and in every episode we explore the universal language of music, how it shapes our lives, connects us, and tells the stories that define us. Through heartfelt conversations and powerful melodies, we uncover the magic that makes music so much more than just sound. Hello and welcome B-Siders. Today on the show, I'm speaking with bestselling author and narrative coach Carrie KC West about the power of story. Very interesting. The ones we inherit, the ones we outgrow, and how music can become a turning point when we're ready to see our life from a different perspective. So welcome, Carrie. So lovely to have you here today.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
Yes, I am really excited about what you're going to share. Your story is really incredible and so inspiring and probably motivating for many as well. Now, I've just said you're a best-selling author, narrative coach, but maybe the narrative coach might put some question marks on people's heads. So maybe you could just quickly explain what that is. And then we can go into the rest of our chat.
So many times people want to label what type of coaching that they do. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan of labels. I mean, it just doesn't it limits you. It puts you in a box. And
Agree.
so I came up with this one just because nobody understands when I say I'm a narrative coach. Does that mean I help script writers? Does it mean I help authors build their narratives? I I try to open people up to see the stories in their lives, the narratives they live by. Stories are so powerful. They're so
Mm-hmm.
powerful and they're so important to us as human beings. Um, it makes sense. It's a way to organize all the crazy amount of information that we have all the time. Our brains like to be organized and coherent. So, what better way than to give a story with a beginning and a middle and an end? And you know how to put a label. This is a protagonist. This is an antagonist. This is the foil. This is the mentor. So, you
Yeah.
can label all the characters. So, I want to help people, guide people to see how they can step outside the script and become an audience member and watch what they're doing
Mm-hmm.
and say, oh, I think I'm going to change that. I think I'm going to rewrite that message because when I used to work in the entertainment industry, the first thing they would do every day before the cameras would roll is ask the script supervisor, where are today's rewrites? Where are our new lines? Where are our new themes and scenes? Because every day we keep developing who we are as people, as storytellers. So we have to adjust. We have to try to step outside the boxes, step outside the limiting labels and the limitations that we've been living through an outdated story.
Wow. And that's if you just pause, like if anyone just pauses for a second and just lets that sink in, it's so true. I mean, our life is a story and we all have chapters, don't we? And in every chapter there's,
Yep.
like you said, there's so many different characters playing a part in it. So I
Yep.
love I love that. I mean, for me, I kind of always see like a visual, like the book of life, and you turn the pages and you write your own stories, and that for me is just such a beautiful visual as well. So I love
And see
that.
this, and this is what happens with a lot of people. We're born and we know about the chapter that's called childhood. And we know about the chapter that's called adolescence. And we know about the chapter that's called post high school. For some of us, we take the chapter that's called university.
Hmm.
Others take a chapter that's a gap year in travel. Others take the story of I'm going to get right to work in a craft. I'm going to become a crafts person, or I'm just going to get to work. So you have these various chapters. But what happens is after you do all the chapters we're supposed to do, the career chapter,
Hmm.
the marriage and family chapter. If you don't want to get married, do you want your own family? And what does that look like? So it's that family structure chapter. And then there's the chapter of what's your career? So then all of a sudden you're doing all these chapters, and then you wake up one day and go, hold on. wait a minute. None of them fulfilled me. I did all the right chapters. I did all the ones I was told I was
Hmm.
supposed to do.
Yeah.
Why don't I feel happy?
Yeah. And another angle also is, and that's how I've experienced a lot of my life, is the fact that I've not gone down that traditional or expected kind of life road. Um, it's not something that I intentionally did. I just did it because it obviously on some level didn't feel right. So I didn't do the traditional, like, I'm married, fair enough, but no kids, and like, so certain things are not as what everyone else thinks should a life look like. And that really kind of did nudge a few people going, and you sort of feel this people looking at you like, what the hell are you doing? This is not supposed to how you live life, and I guess what I would assume a lot of your clients or people you work with, they struggle to just stay in their lane and not let anyone else impact what they really want to do. Stuff it. It's not easy,
Yeah.
trust me, but you can't,
Well, no,
anyway.
exactly. I think we talked about this before in our pre-call discussion. When I was growing up, my parents called me the black sheep,
Oh, here we
and
go. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
their intention of that was to shame me.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked for a while, and then I realized, hold on a second. Yeah, I didn't follow. I've been with my partner for 14 years now, but he and I have never married.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't want to have kids, so I'm kind of past that age anyway, but it's what works for us.
Mm.
And a lot of people say, "Well, you'll get married one day." And it's like, I don't, why is that so important? A lot of people
Mm.
get weird because, when we're given these stories, when we start forming stories, we're babies.
Mm-hmm.
And we're people think we have no idea what's going on, but in fact, we have more of an idea. We're absorbing. We observe everything and we absorb it. And the thing that's the easiest to absorb is the emotion. You the words don't get in there. The visuals do, when they say do as I say, not as I do, because you observe people. And that gets in. But what really
Mm-hmm.
gets in is the emotion. And you can feel if your parents are afraid. And you can feel if the family, extended family, you can feel if society. I mean, come on, every headline, I don't know what it's like in your neck of the woods, but every headline here is about fear. Fear, fear, fear. And if we do that, everything's going to fall apart. And if we don't do
Yeah.
this, everything's going to fall apart. I mean, I've been
Yeah.
around for a couple of decades or more. And
Yeah.
those fear headlines have been around forever. I'm kind of immune to them now. But
Mm.
But when you're a baby, you pick all that up. And then what do you say when you go into your mom and say, Mom, I want to become a musician? And she's like, Oh, you can't do that, honey. No one really succeeds at that. I just don't want you to be disappointed.
Yeah, that sounds
They,
about
they,
it.
yeah. So the emotion you pick up from that is you need to be protected from your own desires.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah. Good point.
You need to be, you have to stay safe from all the things you think you want. But good parents encourage you to spread your wings. I mean, I look at the moms of these superstars that are out there. All the superstars in the world. There's this big headline now about how Taylor Swift's mom and Travis Kelce's mom have been hanging out. And I think about these two moms and how they've raised their kids to follow their own unique paths and be as successful as they wanted with it.
Mm-hmm.
And you
Yeah.
see that all the time with mothers of celebrities and kids who have made huge shifts, broke out of every pattern they were born into, and
Mm-hmm.
have built these amazing lives for themselves. And I'm not suggesting that everybody here is going to do that. But what I am suggesting is sometimes our parents gave us messages
Hmm.
that had unintended consequences. They're not bad and wrong. They really thought they were being good parents because they needed to protect you from all the weird evils of the world.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's a topic in itself because then you could go back to and say, well, what actually happened to our parents? Why have they become the way they are?
Yeah,
No
from
fault
bad.
of their own,
Yeah,
because again, that's a whole nother topic that we could discuss for probably another hour or two. But yeah,
exactly. Well,
it's
these generational messages,
yeah,
they got them from their parents, who got them from their parents, who got them from their parents.
exactly.
You can trace them back.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. What a start to a conversation already. Now, my question to you is we've talked about like obviously our lives and the stories and the narratives, etc. When did you actually sort of realize that these stories that especially we tell ourselves or that we get passed down from our parents and our environment that they have such a huge impact on us, that they really shape our lives? Do you remember that moment when you realized that? If
Uh,
would you mind sharing?
it's no, it's the first chapter of my book.
Oh,
It's
perfect.
no, it's that first story. Um,
Uh-huh.
I had a rough beginning,
Yeah.
and when my dad died when I was 24, I hit rock bottom because my whole purpose was I just wanted my dad to love me. I just wanted my dad. If I could just get my dad to love me, I need my dad to love me. And then the little creep that he is, on
Mm.
the day he died, I had no idea. I was there visiting from out of town for Thanksgiving. And as I was getting ready to step out with a friend, he took my hand. He said, "Do you know I love you?" And I went, "Yeah, yeah, 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 yeah." Meanwhile, completely shocked. For 23, 24 years, that's all I wanted him to ever say to me. Well, I went out to meet a friend and got this horrible pain in the side of my jaw and went home because I couldn't take the pain. And he had died while I was gone. And I thought, I waited all my life for this man to even see me, let
Uh-huh.
alone say love me. And then he dies?
Wow.
I hit rock
Wow.
bottom. I hit rock bottom. I lived on beer and nachos. And I realized if I didn't do something, my life, which was already at risk, 23, 24, and I had no idea what I was doing, what I was going to do. I had no dreams or plans. I just was running as fast as I could. I said, I got to do something. So I jumped in. I did metaphysical work. I talked with therapists. I even went and talked to a priest at a local church. Anybody I could talk to get insights. And it was when I finally went to film school 10 years later. I had all this information going around in my head from metaphysics and self personal development workshops and therapists and all. I went to every kind of therapy, group therapy, singular therapy, all couple therapy, everything. And
Gosh.
I know I did everything.
Yeah.
And when I was sitting in film school, we were going through scripts and we're talking about stories. And by the way, stories really did keep me alive as a kid. I would write stories. That was my form of self-care. So as we were talking about stories and we were talking about antagonists and we were talking about the characters and we're talking about themes and plots and repeated plots, I all of a sudden went, my life is a story, a crappy story, but it's a story.
Mhm.
I have antagonists, I have foils, and I spell all these out in my book, but my older sister was my foil. Every time I tried to do something, she would throw her weight into it and get me kicked off of things and she thwarted everything she could. My mom was my antagonist. My dad was my love interest that I could never get a hold of. I wanted to do everything for him. I wasn't the star of my own movie. I wanted to do everything to try to get my dad's attention. And when I realized all of that, I said, my ending of this story is miserable life, dies young, completely ruined her time here on earth. So is that how I want my life to be?
Mhm.
Nope.
No. Now, I find it interesting your turning point that from from what I understand, involves music.
It did.
Or it's
It
part
did.
of like your kind of soundtrack to change or turn your life around.
It did. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know how it is where you were growing up, but when I was growing up, I have a soundtrack of all my For Me songs and all the songs of angst in the 70s and the 80s that define and give you the emotion. And in
Yep.
fact, I'm going to an event next week and they wanted you to say what's the song that had the most impact on you. And I had a list.
Hard to pick one.
I know, I know. I mean, and it started with the Mamas and the Papas dedicated to the one I love.
Oh.
And I always love that song.
Uh-huh.
And it started with that one. Then it was I Am Woman, the Helen Reddy song. And there's I Will Survive. Who did that? I Will Survive.
Oh,
Oh God. Uh, I see her. I can't remember her name.
oh, I've
It's
lost
gonna
the
drive
name
me
too.
crazy.
Ah, I lost the name as well.
As
I
long
can
as I know how to love, I know I'll be
exactly.
alive.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
huge. Yeah, yeah. Sang
Anyway,
that
I
song
keep
several times myself.
I know, I know. So I had the soundtrack of my life.
Uh-huh.
And I think we all do that. Soundtracks are important.
Oh, yes.
You know, when you're watching a movie now, you know when you're supposed to be scared. You know when the battle's coming.
Yeah.
You know how the music goes with it. So
Once you
I
start paying attention to the music in movies or TV shows, you can just predict what's going to happen next. It's
yeah,
really
exactly.
interesting. And turn the volume off, it's a whole nother experience. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. So when I was working on my new story and my new chapter, I thought what kind of music, what kind of songs appeal to me?
Mm-hmm.
And it's so funny how different they are now. It's so funny how it's a whole different soundtrack.
Yeah.
I don't have any more of these.
I will survive and all these
I
sort of
will survive or I am woman, watch me roar. It's like, okay.
excuse me. But I remember, I think you, when we had our pre-interview chat, you told me the turning point moment, and I think I still got a visual in my head because of how you described it. So if you can just share that with us, I think that's really impactful for anyone tuning in today.
Which one? The one at AFI or the one with my father? Which turning point
I
moment did
I
I?
thought from memory you were you driving along and somewhere in a car? Was that the one? Or am I completely imagining things here? But I think Joni Mitchell's song came on.
Oh yeah. No, well, she's great. My book Money Rewritten is coming out. When Love Rewritten comes out, it's going to be love. I looked at love from both sides now,
Mm-hmm.
from win and lose and still somehow. Because these songs just really capture when you connect to a song like that. Every time I hear that song, I think about the time that I didn't understand love. Because that was the other thing, the message I got from my parents about what love is, from my family about what love is, they were wrong. Or
Mm.
better yet, their story around love wasn't my story.
Mm.
Their
Nicely said.
love story had conditions and strings attached. My love story is about openness and caring for yourself, caring for the people, whatever. So Joni Mitchell's song I think embodies that completely. And I think music does that for us, doesn't it? Doesn't it get our emotions?
Oh, don't. Why do you think I'm here?
Yeah.
Why do you think
Yeah.
this exists?
Yeah.
Yes, yes. My whole life story and chapters is all so much connected and almost glued together, which is music.
Yeah.
You know. So
So is that what drew you to music when you felt the emotions that you can express with your music?
yes, I mean for me, music helped me navigate life. It helped me understand myself. It helped me just make sense out of life, when there was
Yeah.
kind of in a way no one else. So,
And yeah, and I used music to make me feel so I wasn't alone. When I would hear these songs, they became anthems.
yes.
That's why I
Yeah.
remember so many of them. People
Yeah.
laugh. I can't remember phone numbers, but I can remember the words to every song I've ever heard. It's like
Yeah.
it's crazy making, but they become a sense of confirming that I am not alone. There are other people like me in the world.
Yeah. And again, if you think about the artists who actually create that music, they have their own stories. And
Oh my God,
just
yes.
knowing that, like you just said, there's someone else out there who has experienced something similar and actually wrote about it. I mean, that connection in itself, it can save lives, just knowing
Absolutely.
you're not on your own, you're not going through the same struggles or whatever it is. Even the happiness. I mean, if you can share that with a song, it's not all about sadness and all that. We sort of seem to be drawn to the not so good side of life with music a lot, but it's also celebrating, right?
Yeah, yeah.
There's also
Well, like I
stories.
said,
Yeah, go
yeah.
on. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, just like I said, the songs I'm drawn to now
Mm.
are incredibly peaceful and celebratory. And the ones I was drawn to then were which helped me feel the emotion outside of myself.
Mm-hmm.
It allowed me to find an avenue to get that emotion expressed without me having to take the risk and being vulnerable with it.
Mm. Now, we obviously both have experienced that several times in our life, how music can touch us, impact us, turn a page over and start writing a new chapter. But I'm sure there's humans out there who maybe haven't got that awareness around how impactful music can be in rewriting our story, especially when you're sort of in the messy middle. It can be pretty frustrating and then lonely and feeling lost. How do you think people can start sort of, I don't like to say the word taking charge because that's when you're in a messy middle, taking charge can be so hard and it doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah.
But how do you think people can start to find a pen to at least ponder around what their next chapter could be? Where could they
Well,
start?
see where you are today.
Hmm?
And there's so many clues around that.
Mm-hmm.
Your your view of music, life will give you clues. And when you know what songs you're driven to, I mean, I love it. There was one song I was listening to and I went, "Oh my God, I used to love that song." Ew.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
what
know
was
that.
I thinking? I mean, especially in disco. God, all the disco songs and they were just not terrible, but I remember that I used to love disco music and it's like, "Oh no, I'm not a disco dancer anymore." No. That chapter of my life is over. So, but I still look at music to give me clues of where I've been and where I'm going. And
Mm.
so music is one thing. When you get a challenge or a crisis come up, challenges and crises are a way for you to review who you are and think about how you want to respond. I just said on a different podcast a couple days ago that we aren't here to be perfect. This is not about perfection. The world is not perfect. We are not perfect. The goal is how do we respond when challenges arise? How do we respond when there's a crisis? And someone said to me, what if someone said to you they're 80 years old and they look back on their life and everything they mapped out for themselves when they were 20 to where they are today happened exactly as they thought? How do you respond to that? And I said, without being too unladylike, don't buy it. Don't buy it. I mean,
Mm.
life throws us challenges. If nothing else, COVID was a worldwide challenge. So anyone who said they covered and planned for that is in denial.
Yeah.
So how do you respond at these times? So look at the crises and challenges you have. Look at the patterns. Do you walk around and always say, my boss always X? I'm in a toxic work environment again. I hate my career because I keep dating the same people that keep doing X. When you have
Hmm.
these repeated patterns, there's a story you're trying to show yourself. There's something there for you to explore. And
Yeah.
like I said, I do all of this listening to music. When I would get into it, I would think, music is the way that settles me. So I can look at this from a free state of mind without, it can take out that angst in your head. That when you're in a
Hmm.
state of angst, you can't see anything.
Yeah.
And music can calm that down so you can see things clearly
Yeah.
and find a roadmap into a new situation, or
Yeah.
as you say, a new chapter.
Exactly. I always find it interesting as well. Like you just said, like use music to calm yourself down, but also for myself, I find it intriguing when I have a song on repeat. I stop and I go, why is that song on repeat? What emotion does it evoke? And maybe, and it sometimes it depends. It can be the music or can be the lyrics or can be both. So I've learned to stop and take notice and say, okay, well, obviously there's something going on here. What's the story behind it, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
But I feel, and that's kind of what I'm trying to get across with this podcast as well as other things I do. Pay more attention to what you're listening to because that can be such a good entry point to see what's really going on and where you might have to pay more attention to.
yeah,
And for me, that was
yeah,
huge. Once I've realized that, now it's like I even get songs popping in my head, and I'm like, okay, there's obviously a message there that I need to know about. What is it? So,
yeah.
nobody has to be like that, obviously, if they don't want to. But I'm just saying, like you said, use music more consciously to help you out. And then
Do you ever hear the story about why people like scary movies?
maybe, but I couldn't recall if I have. So please share again.
People are drawn to scary movies because they're scared and they need to put their fear on the screen.
Oh, okay, that's why I don't like scary movies then.
I don't like scary movies
I don't
either.
like them either.
To me, they're stupid. It's like, why do you always go out in the middle of the night looking for the guy with the guns and the chainsaws?
Why
I
don't you
mean,
turn the light on when you come home?
exactly,
That's just
exactly.
dumb.
I always think they're stupid. I just do. And sorry if anyone's listening to this who loves scary movies. Sorry. That's my opinion
It's
only.
funny.
And as a filmmaker, I will tell you, I'm executive producing a movie that's supposed to make everybody think about the scary state the world is in. And it's like, ay, 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 ay. But anyway, that's one way. Violence is another way to live vicariously through the violence on the screen.
Mm,
So you don't have to act it out.
hmm.
So to me, there's a lot of music I don't like because I think it's misogynistic or it's angry or it's doesn't do anything to soothe the common soul, and I don't like it. Cuz
Hmm.
but it does have a place because it can be a way for people to feel these internal urges without having to act on them.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I maybe I'm in total denial. Maybe I'm an angry, scared person who has violent tendencies, and I just haven't acted them out yet. It could happen. Uh, but but
That's
I like
interesting.
classical music, and I like Well, I'm a total Beatles fan. That they every Beatles song captured every word in my soul growing up. Oh my God, it was crazy.
Uh-huh. That's so
So,
interesting.
mhm,
And the
mhm,
good thing is we're not, I mean, the good thing, it's pros and cons, it's in everything. If we all would be the same, life would kind of be boring. Um, so if everyone would just love the Beatles, that will be boring. So we need to
yeah,
little spice up our life a bit. So that's why we have different music for different purposes.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
certain music or songs or artists I just don't want to listen to, but that's me. And like you said, it probably serves a purpose for someone else. So that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, it's good that we have so many different flavors and genres and types of
Mm-hmm.
music. My partner plays in a classical symphony. He's a classical bassoonist. And I'm so tired of hearing. I love classical music, but they constantly rehearse over here, and then they want me to go to the concerts, and it's like, really? I've been listening to you rehearse this for the last 10 weeks. Do I need to go and see it perform too? Can you just
Oh God, a bit
because I
much.
feel I know it's the same thing, but I still love it. It just when you have people rehearsing here 3 days a week for 10 weeks and they're playing the same songs and you hear the same stuff.
It can be a bit much, yeah.
But I still love a great violin riff. I still love guitar. I love drums. Drums are one of my favorites. And
Yeah.
they always help me when I felt like I was stuck. Drums made me want to move.
Oh, yes.
Drums always made me want to move.
Yeah, but doesn't that go back to almost our primeval state where we sort of, bang the drums, or maybe that's from
Yeah.
far, far back somewhere? I find that
Yeah. But
interesting how music and sound and vibration is actually been there from the word get-go.
yeah,
um,
no, resonance,
so
they create resonance. Just like our
yes.
voice creates resonance, the sound from the music creates resonance and it can lift you. It can be
Mm-hmm.
very uplifting. So,
Yeah. I'm curious now with you said it many times during our chat that you have a really good background in movies, in story writing, etc. And you've seen so much behind the scenes that obviously us viewers probably will never do. And maybe that's a good thing. It keeps our fantasies intact or whatever we have.
yes.
What's your opinion on a good story? What makes a good story that really lands emotionally? But also how can we then use that in our own lives? And maybe to finish off my question, how can music support that?
Boy, that is a really good question. And I'm struggling here because I have
Oh
a
no.
great example. No, I have a great example, but I'm going to give you an example, but unfortunately, I'm not going to tell you any of the names of the people or the names of the movie.
That's fine.
When
We don't.
when I first started working in the film industry, I was asked to read a couple of scripts and give me my thoughts on them. Well, I found this brilliant script and I was just blown away and the characters came off the page and the emotions were, captured in dialogue. I mean, that's the trick with a script. You have to capture emotions with dialogue and very little setting and whatnot. And it was awesome. It was awesome. And I was so glad to see. I went to work for one of the producers that actually optioned the script and turned it into a feature film. And they cast big name stars in the roles and they ruined it. They ruined it. The stars decided they didn't want that character to go in that direction. And they had two A-list stars in the conflicting roles, so they both wanted their character to be a certain way. And they weren't willing to follow the script, so they had their own agendas. And they ruined the movie. They ruined it.
Yeah.
And I was so disappointed because this was this one script and I've read a lot of books that they asked me, will this be a visual story? Can you do all that? Well, one of the things that I think is important is that you have trust in the
Mm.
characters that are being developed. And for people listening, you have to have trust in your own character. You are the hero, you are the protagonist of your story. So trust who you are. When you get
Mm.
into ego and you want to make this about you and you don't want to do that, or I don't want to be seen on screen saying that line, it's like, oh, get over yourself. You're an actor. But um and then back to the whole thing. Some of the music they picked for this, it's like, what are you thinking? There was a scene that was supposed to be scary, and it was a scary scene intentionally, but they toned it down and they made the music a little bit softer and that's okay, but you took away again from this major turning point, this scene of this really scary event was to be a turning point in the relationship between these two characters that were trying to be friends in the movie, but the two A-list actors could never seem to get past that. And they toned down this other scene because they didn't want the audience to feel blah 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 blah. They didn't, and I thought, but that's the whole point of this story. It's okay if you're going to put them through this challenge. The point is, this challenge was going to make you two become friends. But when they added the music along with it that made it like flowery and easy, it's like, oh, you know, it has to work in conjunction with each
Mm-hmm.
other. You have to form a synergy. And that's why you have so many composers that are so well known for their music. John Williams, um, Horner, James Horner. Is it James Horner? Another big movie composer. John Williams is the biggest. There's
Mm-hmm.
so many great movie composers out there for a reason. They know how to capture the emotional rhythm of the movie. And when you're doing your personal work, the emotional rhythm of your journey, I think is represented in the music you like to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a
Yeah,
big clue. I
it
really do. It
is.
gives you a big idea of where you are in your journey.
Yes.
That's my take.
Uh, I agree. I think we both can talk from personal experience that that is true.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's great starting point. Like we said earlier, if you want to change the story of your life, maybe pay a bit more attention to what you're listening to, and then
Look at the
it will
clues. There's so many clues. And music is
exactly.
one of them. Music is a
Yes.
big one.
And I feel it's also a, a safer place to start because change can be unsettling, it can be scary,
Hmm.
whereas
Hmm.
music might be a little bit of a safer entry to write a new chapter. I don't know, do you see that from when you work with your clients that could work, or how do they, because no, I can't imagine anyone or many people just going, yeah, let's go, let's rewrite my story, let's do my different chapter. I mean, there will be people like that, of course, but most of us are probably not like that. So how do
Well, I,
your go on?
I'm going to answer it this way. Sometimes I'm surprised when I'm working with someone and they're doing so well, and then I either call them or they stop by and I hear them listening to a song that I think, what? Where did that come from? Are you okay? And it's like, well, yeah, I just love this music. And it's like, okay.
Yeah,
I, and sometimes, honestly, sometimes it's just this is the music they enjoy.
yeah.
I'm not going to say that everything is a clue and everything will tell you where people are. I just look at it as an option to say, I want to consider that. Is this indicative of something I need to explore for myself?
Hmm.
The answer could be no.
Yeah, yeah, that's a very good point too, because sometimes music is literally just there for entertainment. And
Hmm.
that's also what we need. We don't always have to think about our lives constantly. Sometimes it's nice to just switch off.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's
But
totally
it
cool as well.
but isn't it funny how there's some music that you hear and you know exactly what's going on? I always think about that with the Jaws theme from the Jaws movie, that dun.
Yeah,
Everybody just you pick up on that.
yeah.
Dun. What is it,
That
two
is
notes?
genius. Whoever came up with that, absolute genius. Even to this
Yeah.
day, you just played it. Everyone knows. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, I just am bringing that up because it was at the Olympics last night. I was watching one of the figure skating groups and they were using that ice
Oh, really?
dancing, ice dancing, and they
Yeah.
were using the music from Jaws. And the minute they went, dun, I went, "Whoa, why are they using this for what's supposed to be a beautiful ice dancing sequence?" But okay.
Did they make it work? I didn't see it, so
I they ended up, which some of these athletes do, is they used that beat and then moved into some other
something
songs.
else.
They
Hmm.
built a what do you call it? They took
Oh,
pieces
they
from
kind
a
of
bunch
mix
of
it
different.
together.
Yeah, they picked
Yeah.
up a bunch of songs from many movie tracks and
Right.
made a compilation. And I
Mm.
honestly thought it was a bit disjointed. I couldn't follow it. It was
Mm.
disjointed.
Oh
Much like
dear.
when I was watching a period story set in the 1700s and they were doing hip hop as their music track.
Okay.
It
Hmm.
made me not interested in the show. It really, every time they tried to do a hip hop sequence with something going on in the 1700s, it's like,
Oh no. Yes, I
so
think once you start to pick up on the sound and the music in what we watch, um, you start to pick up things and
yeah,
you go, really? Oh,
yeah,
oh yes.
yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
it's the awareness around it, I guess. Especially for you who's been trained in all these, who's done it all. It's probably even worse. So,
Well, it's first of all, I'm so grateful that I've had all these experiences. I'm so
mhm,
grateful about my view of life.
yeah.
And I'm so grateful that I've been surrounded in music. You know, that my
Mhm,
partner is loves music. He's now playing his Irish pipes, which are some of my favorite instruments. Those are haunting and wonderful and beautiful. Have you heard the Ilian pipes
I
haunting?
think I have, but not in a long time.
Oof, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Um, but I'm so fortunate that I have that around me. And
Mm,
I do think that music was such a key part of my journey. And I would venture to say that most people probably have the same experience, that music really is such an important part of their lives.
mhm. I agree.
Yeah.
And that's actually a wonderful way to slowly come to an end to our conversation, even though there's probably so much more we could dive into and talk about. But
I could talk to you for hours.
yes, same. It's so interesting. I could ask you so many more questions, but I think we're running a little bit out of time, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But you never know, there might be a part two in the future.
Never know.
Never
I'd
say
be open
never.
to it. I'd be
Never
open to
say
it.
never.
So tell me where you're located again.
I'm in Down Under, Melbourne,
Yes.
Australia.
You're in Melbourne. Okay. I knew you were in
Yes.
Australia. I just wasn't sure if you were Melbourne or
Yeah.
Sydney. So I'm trying to get a trip together there. So we'll do this in person next time.
Oh, yes, we can certainly arrange that. Yes.
Yeah. That'd be fun. I'd enjoy that.
Yes, definitely. That'd be really fun. But for now, yeah, I'm going to say thank you so much, Carrie. It was a really great conversation. I love this angle with storytelling and music, and I'm sure a lot of listeners will have a new appreciation for how music impacts their own story and how they watch television or movies. So thank you for being here and sharing everything. And
My
to you,
pleasure.
and to you, B-siders, thanks for tuning in. And as always, sending you much music and love. Don't forget to check out the episode description for any for the contact details for Carrie, so you can check out her work and what she does, and her book, of course, as well. But yes, thanks for hanging out on the B-side, and I'll be back with you soon. Until then, you all take care. Bye for now.